Little things in between.
Sure. So my name is Wesley Boston, and I am the executive chef with Worlds of Fun.
Awesome. And thank you for taking the time to join our virtual career fair today.
My
So, how
pleasure.
did you get to where you are now?
It was a long road, but when I was in high school, I was a senior in high school, kind of confused, didn't really know what it is I wanted to do when I grow up. Even though growing up when you're a senior in high school is what, 6 months away, unless you go to college and then you get to be a student again for another 4 years. But the odd thing is, when I was in fourth grade, we had to write a one-page book report on what you wanted to be when you grow up, and just randomly I picked that I wanted to be a chef. So I did a book report on it and really didn't pay it any mind. I always kind of liked to cook, but it was never really a goal to become a chef. Well, the senior year I was working in a restaurant, and it was a hot dog joint. It was just a greasy hot dog burger flip and drive through kind of place. Didn't really even have a name to it in Chicago. And the owner needed uh, a license with the Illinois Health Department, and licensing worked differently back then. And so, in order to get that sanitation license, you had to take a class. So that class was offered at the local community college, College of Lake County. So I went on behalf of the owner, and I was there only to sign up for the sanitation class. But while I was there, I learned that they had a full-blown culinary program. And this registration should have been, a 15-minute in and out process. So I spent 2 hours there just walking through and looking around at different things that they had posted on the wall. And I was just really interested in cooking at that point. It was like that afternoon just kind of made everything click. So I left there fully registered for culinary classes. After after about a year in culinary, in school, I'm not a good student, and I was not a good student in culinary school either. But after about 6 months or a year, my instructor, one of them, he told me that if I wanted to find success, I was going to need to leave this hot dog joint and go work in a full service restaurant where, I learned how to bake a potato or do something more than dress a hot dog. So I left, and I went and worked in a bunch of different restaurants, and I could talk for hours about, the sideways moves and the up and down and the 50-cent raises and the small promotions along the way. But for the most part, that was my beginning. I was lucky enough to work for Cheesecake Factory when they had 40 restaurants. I started at store number 40, which was in Schaumburg, Illinois, and at this point, I dropped out of culinary school. I decided that my place in life, I just needed. I was in a place in life where I needed to make money more than I was able to afford paying for myself to go to school. I was living on my own, and I was 18 years old. So uh, I went to work for Cheesecake Factory, and I was just very scared of anything that it takes to be a grown up. I was scared of not having enough money to eat, not having enough money to have cable. So I just went to work every day, and I showed up, and I went 2 hours early and didn't even punch in. I just wanted to learn about what I was doing, and I just all my friends were away at school, so I was kind of alone. But uh, I worked for this company long enough to where they started sending me to go help open new restaurants. And 2 years later, I became an executive chef with Cheesecake Factory. So that really made my career. I spent 8 years with them. I worked as a part of 50 different opening teams. And once you earn that title, you never really have to earn it again. You're an executive chef. You're no longer applying for jobs anywhere else. That's the position that you've held. So that position pretty much made my career. Eventually I left them. I wanted to try something different, and I worked for Bravo and Brio as an executive chef, and I went out and opened my own restaurant at one point with financial support. Uh, when I moved to Kansas City, I was working for Sullivan's Steakhouse in Del Frisco. So it was really cool. I got to do the high end thing. That company actually paid to put me through sommelier um, and beer cicerone training. So I actually have certifications in both beer and wine pairings and knowledge. And then the opportunity for Worlds of Fun came along, and it was like, it was just the coolest thing I could ever imagine, because I went from writing 7-course wine dinner menus to how cool can I make this funnel cake, and what can I put on a stick, and it's just very different. But I mean, that's the shortest way I could tell my story from start to now.
When it comes to your daily job, what would you say is one of the most enjoyable parts?
There's a lot of enjoyable parts, and I would say to young up and comers like yourself that if you struggle to find an enjoyable part of your job, get out. um, and sometimes that happens over time. Sometimes you work for a company for 3 years that you once loved, and you just find it hard to smile every day. You're in the wrong place. So I will throw that out there. My job, one of the most enjoyable things, and it sounds really corny, but I'm an executive chef, so I have a very large team, and I get to work with a lot of different people, and uh, the food is got to be your number one passion when you're an executive chef. That has to be your number one goal. Your number one passion is deliver a great food product. But it happens through people. It happens through making people happy. It happens through inspiring your team. It happens through just a lot of different pieces that a group of people coming together brings. So I would say the favorite part of my job day to day is the crazy personalities that are around, and the inside jokes that we have at work, and just watching a team of people come together and grow and learn and fight for our cause, for a high quality food product, and everybody comes together on it, and it's a really cool feeling when you get to a place to where the team is clicking, and watching people grow. Watching somebody that started off at an entry level position, working with them and pushing them and teaching them, and then one day them calling you and saying, "Chef, I'm an executive chef now. I want to buy you a drink." And that's the kind of phone call that brings tears to my eyes, and I've been lucky enough to work with a lot of people like that in my time.
What would you say for students who want to get into the field of culinary in the future? What would be some of your advice for them to get into it as well?
So as far as getting into it, just show up. Just show up and do your job every day. Just show up. That would be my advice to anybody in any business. If you stay with a company long enough and you show up and you put passion into it, you're going to find a good road. That's the easiest thing that you're asked to do, is show up to work. In the culinary world, as you're getting going, learn as much as you can. Don't don't show up with any type of pride or anything like that. The only pride you should have is the pride for doing a great job. But get a job frying fish and battering chicken tenders and washing dishes. Just but don't worry about what it looks like. You just show up with passion to get the job done every day, and you're going to learn things along the way. There's learning in everything you do, and you'll find your way to where you want to be.
Thank you so much for sharing your story and helping all of us figure out maybe if we want to go into the culinary field in the future. Thanks so much.
It's my pleasure.